Hi class, tonight we will not have a Zoom live class, but you are still required to have class on your own time. This video is posted on YouTube so that you can access this tonight or tomorrow, but make sure that you access this before Wednesday. So today we're going to start with Burlington English. We will be reading a total of 4 chapters. Later tonight, you're going to be looking at the questions. So on Google Classroom, and I will show you how to locate this, we'll see Gulliver's Travels chapter 4 through 7. Every single one of these chapters is going to have questions. Okay, for example, chapter 4, we have question 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we have part 2 because it is a longer chapter, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chapter 5, 4 questions. Chapter 6, we have 6 questions. And then chapter 7 will have 4 questions. So like I said, we will make sure that I go back and share with you where we can find the questions. So first, we're going to go ahead and go to Burlington. When you log in, okay, you'll see your name and then you'll see these tiles. These squares, we want to go to readers. So let's go ahead and first click on readers. So for tonight's reading, we want to still make sure that we go into the reading that says Gulliver's Travels. We're going to click. And then make sure that you use your arrow or your mouse to scroll to the bottom and click continue. In our continue button, okay, make sure that we can either go back to Gulliver's Travels. Okay, we want to make sure that we go to, let's go back, sorry. If we don't know where to start, let's go to the table of contents. In the table of contents, it tells us chapter 4 starts on page 12. So we want to make sure that we click on here. And then it takes us here. Remember that if we want the Burlington English software to read this to us, we're going to have to use a magnifying glass. I don't know if you're able to see it on my screen, but it shows you a plus sign. If you're unable to see the plus sign, remember on the top right, there's also another plus sign. I want you to either click on the text or click on the right side and then do open the reading mode. So let's go ahead and get started with chapter 4. We're going to go ahead and put play. And I want you to listen. And if you need to pause, please make sure to pause. On Wednesday for our warm-up, calentamiento, we're going to go through the questions. So make sure that you read the chapter. So let's go ahead and put play.
Chapter 4, Gulliver Helps the King. One day the king there are 50 ships, and there are hundreds of soldiers on the ships.
Let's go ahead and start this again because it skipped. So let me go ahead and start again.
Chapter 4, Gulliver Helps the King. One day the king comes to see me. He's scared. Soldiers from Blefuscu want to attack us, he says. Their warships are getting ready to travel to Lilliput. We need your help. They're very strong. Where is Blefuscu? I ask. Blefuscu is north of Lilliput, the king answers. I take my binoculars and walk to the north of the island. I lie near the beach and look across the sea. I can see the island of Blefuscu and the warships. There are 50 ships and there are hundreds of soldiers on the ships. It's terrible. I have a good idea. Please bring me some strong ropes and some metal hooks, I say to my servants.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next page now.
The servants bring the ropes, and I cut them into 50 pieces and tie them to 50 hooks. Then I take the ropes and hooks and walk into the sea. I swim until my feet are on the ground again, and I'm near the island of Blefuscu. When the soldiers from Blefuscu see me, they're very scared. They jump out of the warships and into the sea. Then they swim to the beach. There are hundreds of people on the beach. They're all looking at me, surprised. Who is that man, they say. He's so big. The soldiers shoot arrows at me. I attach the hooks to the ships and take all the ropes in my hand. Then I pull the ships in the water to Lilliput.
Okay, let's go to the next page.
The king is very happy. After 2 weeks, 2 ambassadors from Blefuscu come to Lilliput. Our people are tired of war. We want to make peace, an ambassador says. We're tired of war too. Let's make peace, the king says. When the ambassadors leave, the king speaks to me alone. I have an idea, he says. You can capture men and women from Blefuscu and bring them to Lilliput. They can be my servants. No, I say, it's a terrible thing to do. I'm the king. Obey me, says the king. I'm sorry, I don't want to do it, I answer. The king is very angry. He doesn't come to see me for a long time. Then, one day, I see smoke in the city. There's a fire in the king's palace. People are running in the streets with buckets of water.
Okay, and let's read the last page for chapter 4.
We can't put out the fire, says a man. Can you help, Man Mountain? The fire is in the queen's room. The queen is standing near the window. Help! Fire! She shouts. I talk to the queen through her window. I can help you, I say. I remove my shoe and put water in it. Then I pour the water into the queen's room and put out the fire. The queen is very wet and very angry. Ah, look at my hair! Look at my beautiful dress, the queen says.
Okay, so now we ended chapter 4. So let's go back to our questions. So chapter 4 says, Gulliver helps the king. Question 1 is, why is the king scared? 2, how many warships does Blefuscu have? 3, what does Gulliver do to the ropes? 4, what happens to the ships of Blefuscu? Chapter 4, part 2. 5, who goes to Lilliput? 6, why does the king get mad? 7, what happens to the king's home? And 8, how does the queen react? So if you want to, I want you to make sure that you put pause. And if you have to listen again, please listen again. When you are ready to, okay, we are going to move on to chapter 5. So I will be starting chapter 5 here, but remember that you can always pause the video. So chapter 5.
Chapter 5, Gulliver's Escape. 3 days pass, and then 2 guards come to get me. Come with us, Man Mountain, they say. Why, I ask. The king is waiting to punish you, one guard says. Why? I don't understand, I say. It's a crime to pour water on the queen, says the other guard. I'm scared. What does the king want to do, I ask. He wants to take out your eyes, a guard says. What? You can't do that. The king is cruel. I'm not coming with you, I say. I walk past the guards and over the houses of Mildendo. Soon, I'm at the north side of the island and in the sea. I'm going to Blefuscu. The people of Blefuscu see me coming. The king of Blefuscu is waiting for me on the beach.
Let's go ahead and go to the next page.
I want to live here, I say. Welcome to Blefuscu, Man Mountain. Of course you can live here, the king says. Now he can help our soldiers, the king thinks. The people of Blefuscu are nice to me, but I don't have a house because there are no big houses in Blefuscu. I sit and think about my comfortable home in England and my wife and 2 children. I want to go home. After 3 days, I see something in the sea. I remove my shoes and walk into the sea to see what it is. It's a small boat. Maybe I can go home in this boat, I say. I climb into the boat and it starts to move. Goodbye, Lilliput and Blefuscu, I say. I'm free.
Okay, so we are now done with chapter number 5. We want to go back to our questions. Questions for chapter 5 is, why is the king waiting for Gulliver? 2, what does the king want to do to Gulliver? 3, where is Gulliver being sent? And 4, what does Gulliver decide to do? So remember that you can always pause. You can listen to the chapter again. And if you're ready, you can unpause this and then go to chapter 6. So remember, when I say pause, it means you can stop the video. So let's go to chapter 6 now. If you're ready, you can put play again.
Chapter 6. A New Land. I want to go north, but a strong wind moves the boat to the east for 5 days. On the 6th day, I see land. My boat moves in that direction. Soon the boat stops moving. I get out of the boat and walk to the land. The trees are very tall. I can't see the top of the trees. Then I walk through a field of very tall grass. Suddenly, I hear a loud noise, and I see an enormous farmer. I'm scared, and I hide in the grass. He's enormous, I think. When I move, the farmer sees me. He takes me in his hands and puts me next to his face. He has an ugly face, I think. The farmer puts me in his pocket and takes me to his house.
Okay, next page.
The farmer puts me on a very high table in the kitchen. Then he speaks to his family in a strange language. The farmer's children look at me. The farmer's wife is fascinated. I smile and say hello. I'm Gulliver. It's nice to meet you, I say. The farmer's wife smiles and brings me some meat on a big plate. I stand on the plate and start to eat. The children laugh loudly, and I put my hands over my ears. The farmer brings his baby to the table. The baby takes me in his hand and puts me in his mouth. I shout loudly, and the baby is scared. I fall from his hands into a bowl of milk.
Next page for chapter 6.
I swim around and around in the milk. The farmer laughs, takes my leg, and pulls me out of the bowl. Stop this! Put me on the table! I shout. I'm very tired, and I want to be alone. The farmer's daughter, Gimbella, is 9 years old. She's very nice. She puts me in a doll's bed and puts a blanket over me. The bed is high, and I can't get out of it. Soon, I go to sleep. The next morning, the farmer's son comes into the room. He has a boat in his hand. It's my boat. Suddenly, the boat falls to the floor, and it breaks into many pieces. Now I can't go home. I'm very sad.
Okay, so we are now done with chapter number 6. Let's go to our questions. So for chapter number 6, we have 6 questions. Question 1 is, how many days is Gulliver in the boat? Question 2, who does Gulliver see? Question 3, how does Gulliver describe the farmer? Question 4, what does Gulliver eat? Question 5, what happens when Gulliver sees the farmer's baby? And question 6, what happens to Gulliver's boat? So remember, you can go back and play chapter 6 if you need it again. If you do not need it again, then you can put pause, answer the questions, and then when you are ready, we are going to read our last chapter. Chapter number 7. So chapter 7 is Life with the Giants. So let's go back to Burlington English. We're going to start with chapter number 7 now.
Chapter 7. Life with the Giants. Gimbella makes new clothes for me, and she starts to teach me her language. She's a good teacher, and soon I can talk to her. I learn that I'm in a country called Bengal. One day, a neighbor comes to see me. I dance for him, and he laughs. Suddenly, he stops laughing. I have an idea, he says to the farmer. You can make a lot of money with this small man. Take him to the town and show him to the people. Yes, that's a very good idea, the farmer says. I don't like that idea, I think. Poor Gulliver. I can't stop my father, Gimbella thinks. The next day, we go to the town on the farmer's horse. Gimbella carries me in a special box with windows. I'm not very comfortable.
Okay, so let's go to the next page.
We go into a restaurant, and the farmer puts me on a high table. See the small man. Price, 1 piece of gold. See the funny small man. He can sing and dance, the farmer says. A lot of people pay to see me. I sing and dance for them all day and all evening. Soon I'm very tired, and I can't stand anymore. Gimbella and her father take me home. For the next 5 weeks, the farmer takes me to the restaurant every day. Soon, everybody in town hears about me and wants to see me. The farmer gets a lot of money. I work very hard, and I'm tired. The farmer doesn't give me much food, and I'm always hungry. I want to go home to my wife and family.
So we are now done with chapter number 7. So we want to go back to our questions again. Question number for chapter 7, the first one is, what does Gimbella make for Gulliver? 2, what is the name of the new country that Gulliver lives in? 3, what does a farmer decide to do with Gulliver? 4, where does the farmer take Gulliver? So again, you can repeat the audio more than once if you need to, but remember on Wednesday, we want to go through the responses. Make sure that you are ready to share your answers. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, but if you have questions, please let me know on Wednesday if you need extra help. So let's go ahead and before we end this, go to Google Classroom and let's see if I'm able to. So what we want to make sure that you're able to do is locate these questions. Everyone in the class should have access to the following. In our class, when you log in on your phone or on a laptop or on a tablet, we want to make sure that we see the top part. We have stream, we have classwork. Okay, so one of these two, okay, we want to make sure that we always go on classwork. So for tonight, we want to go ahead and go in, click on classwork. You will start. And remember, okay, today, okay, we start with week number 10. So in today's class, you want to make sure that you do Gulliver's Travels chapter 4 to 7, and you have the questions here. So far, I only have one student who turned this in. So this student is going to be able to advance to chapter 8, 9, 10, and 11. So just like you saw earlier, okay, all the questions are located here. So let me know if you have questions. Okay, I will share with you, okay, that Selene turned in her questions. So thank you, Selene. And this is what she turned in to me. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Okay, remember, we want to make sure that you practice your English. So make sure that you are practicing, that you are doing your best to make time. This time is, remember, an investment. You are investing in learning English. So have a good night. I will be posting a second video for my students who have already read chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7. And my students who are advanced, okay, meaning they finished this assignment, you will get to finish the book. So let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I will see you Wednesday, and thank you guys. Have a good night.